Hello, 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 and welcome back to another trek through the dungeon. Alright, taking a little bit of a breather, taking a bit of a chill pill, thought it through and decided, you know what? We're going to give this one more stab tonight. I mean, it is already past 1:20 in the morning, so this is still at least something of an element of tilt here. But no, this is good. I'm not going to get better at this game until I ante up again and try and get better at this game. And it's been a long time since I've had a good wizard. Let's make it a shorter time. So we're going to go one more round in the ring here. And by round, I mean possibly more than one wizard. We'll see how many it takes to feel like, no, I gave it an honest effort. This time it's going to be, we're going to be a bit more optimistic here. We're going to go, the name of the first character I ever reached the swamp with, Majusia. Now, Majusia was a Tengu, but I'm just going to run the Deep Elf because that's the build I'm pitching tonight. And it's going to be Conjurations or Bust, and it's going to be the exact same thing as before. This very first run, I'm actually going to play a little bit quicker. That way, if it fails early, I have more time to try something else. You'll notice that I totally abuse the water to reposition the enemies so that the ooze can't reach me during this early phase of the game where it's very easy to die to anything. Let's see if I can trick the ball python the same way. Cannot. It just gave up on me. Okay, that's fine. Good. Good. Kill that. And we're already level 2. I tell you, sometimes this game just decides to not be a dick and give you at least something of a start. That Just Dust might could poison me pretty heavily. Constrict could slow me significantly. This is probably the best engage I'm going to get. I've killed most of them. Alright. Barely survived that, but I played it correctly, whether or not I survived. And that's the thing that's important to bear in mind. It's not whether you win or lose, though it is whether you win or lose. It's did you play optimally? Did you screw up or did you play right? Because ultimately the only solace you can take is you made the right moves. Sometimes it's just not in the cards, especially early in the game. Sometimes you're forced to make decisions that have an 80% success rate. And hey, 20% of the time you won't be successful. That was a very deep auto travel. I've had games tonight where I couldn't hit level 3 before facing Sigmund, and even after exploring part of a floor that he wasn't on. But now I'm level 3 and I haven't even gone down a floor yet. The earliest Sigmund is allowed to spawn is D2 IRC, and I'm pretty sure that was a case of a D2 Sigmund spawn. Though to be fair, I didn't die to Sigmund, I died to something else. You don't know how to get there? Oh, okay, that's fine then. If you don't know how to get there, then I don't care. We're just going down a floor. Eat rat. Get me a little bit of explored territory here. Found a second way up. Actually used to mark my territory. Actually, let's just try the third staircase now. And this is the worst scenario. Hey, last game when that happened, I died. See, again, I'm doing it. If I've truly let go of the last games and I'm not on tilt, then I'm not dragging last game's outcome into this game. I saw a post on one of the forums I frequent saying, what does it mean to tilt? And they said it's showing bad manners to your opponent and swearing a lot during a game. And that's bullshit. That's not what tilt means. Tilt is a gambling term. To go on tilt means that you allow the effects of last game to influence the way next game goes in a negative light. In gambling, this is most often seen as making unsafe or unsmart bets because you're desperate to recover, as if somehow that will save you last hand. And even if it would save you last hand, you need to recover the $10. Yeah, but you don't make an unsafe play for that reason. And if you are making unsafe plays because you're trying to live down what happened before, that's pretty much the definition of tilting. So in Dungeon Crawl, I would say being on tilt is to be so rage-filled or so stuck in the previous game that you try to play the next game twice as fast or do things more risky just in an attempt to quickly correct last game's failures. Unfortunately, that's just not how the game works. The game doesn't respect you for anteing up twice if you're not bringing more to the if you're not bringing your A game to the table. And if ever I needed a reminder of just how fucking lethal this game is, that was, you know, this evening has been that reminder. I take it as my right, honestly, sometimes when I play that I will get to a certain distance. I will reach the orcish or the tavern. I will get this far. And that's not a guarantee by any stretch of imagination. The game is unaware that there's a pact with me, or that it's me who's playing. Identify might potion could be potentially useful. We're going to use this to uncurse my weapon so that I can switch over to the trident again, because having a reach weapon this early in the game is very helpful. For a wizard like me who isn't necessarily going to get all the DPS they need out of their finite mana pool, whereas having a cursed whereas having a +1 on my trident isn't going to make that big a difference compared to wielding the wrong weapon and dying because of it. I'm going to back off and see if we can't cull the herd a little here. One thing I do love about the new version, not worrying about items. They stack well, carrying capacity isn't an issue. I mean, these are all wonderful, wonderful things. Subtle changes and important ones. Kobold. Ooh, Noble Staff. Staff of Death. I'll pass. There are very few scenarios under which I'd trade Necromancy for a Pure Caster. This early, at least. Some people might object to my self-mephitic there. The problem is if I just walked away from Terrence, he can keep up with me, which means that he would eventually get a free hit, which would cripple me, and if I self-mephitic after a free hit, it's a much greater odds of death. There was a remove curse in my inventory. I didn't have to burn the +1 for it. Oh well. I didn't know it. I have a Wand of Lightning. That's a very useful early game thing to know, that in a pinch I can massively bolster my DPS for at least a couple turns. I still can't get used to this thing that you have to save identification scrolls to ID. You know what? We're going to set up a fire trap for him. Worked pretty well. He absolutely stepped into it. And that's exactly what I need to have happen. He had a blue potion. Blue potions tend to be... Sorry. He tends to carry healing potions of some kind. So I'm going to mark that as a possible, if not probable, heal pot. If I have to take a blind guess, that's what I'm going to guess next time. And I do have to take a blind guess because I'm about to die. It is a heal wounds potion. I'm going to back away now. The good news is that they dropped a trident, which is almost certainly a trident of poison, given how quickly I died, or nearly died. It's a +2 trident of poison. By surviving my miserable situation, and look how I had to literally use all the information at my disposal to make that call. But luckily for me, I had the information, and I had the tools to survive, neither of which was a given. So say a prayer to the poker gods and move on. Come on, come on, come on. We can do this. Ante the fuck up. Don't drop the combo. Dithmengos, I'll pass. We're going for a classic Blaster Caster. I assume that's a still viable build. Okay, I now have 2 wands of damage output, so I do not have the excuse that I didn't have the DPS to deal with something. You know, barring them having 0 charges. I know that these wands start with near 0 charges these days. Just dumb. It's not dumb, it's just different. I'm going to call it dumb, of course. We'll recharge fire. I like fire. Long term, that might be a bad decision because I might end up being a blaster caster of fire. Short term, I have no way of knowing what kind of blaster caster I'm going to become. So best to stick with the element I like the most. Especially because lightning has a tendency to not... The thing about lightning is it tends to not hit, tends to be its form of balance, but then have better range or multi-hit capacity. And in any situation where I'm using a wand, I'm going to want it to hit, like guaranteed. I'll take my chances. Take my chances 3 times in a row. And then before I have to take my chances again, we'll start suppressing these things. I'm out of mana. Before the situation becomes critical, is there any resource I can use to aid myself? The nearest staircase to exit on is due east. Let's start in an easternly direction. Let's also quaff might, because I'm probably going to have to melee these guys to death. Int, of course. Well, you're hitting like a truck, honestly, and that forced me to burn another heal pot. The truth to be told, this could have gone a lot worse for me. The might potion was definitely the right move there. Without it, I would have been forced into much worse combat. We're gonna confuse the scorpion, kill the kobold, and then just walk away from this mess. They're summoned anyway. This is a really mean floor layout for something so early on. There's very little in the way of corners to hide behind. I had a blink scroll? Oh no, okay, that was a stack of 3. Okay, good. I thought it was just like 1 blink scroll plus the 2 I already have makes 3, and that would have been much. Damn, you take forever to despawn. Confuse the dog? And stab him to death? Okay, we're good. Any altars I missed? Nope, none. Okay, so far so good. Kill the snake. Poke the snake to death. Get out of the floor. There's literally no reason to fight while partially injured. I don't want to randomly drink a whole bunch of potions just to ID them, because the more likely effect is that I'll just burn through otherwise useful potions. I will drink 1 or 2 of the ones I have doubles of, just because I need to have at least something ID'd. Dex -2 with Berserker Rage. Well, the good news is I can't possibly mutate myself any worse, so no harm in continuing to drink potions now. Agility, haste, and the rest are just one-offs, which I'd rather not burn in case they turn out to be very valuable for survivability. Alright, there's the Ecumenical Temple, Sif, or Vehumet. Because I've been losing so much, I'm tempted to go early game power. So Vehumet will give me spell gifts, and that's early game power, rather than late game omnipotence, but I haven't been doing well enough to worry about my late game omnipotence. Whoa! Oh, I just went berserk. Okay. That works out. I can work around this. Did I just pick up a Wand of Telly? Excellent. If I had an ID scroll, that would be worth burning. Just to know exactly how many Telly charges I have and make sure it stays as big a number as it can be. Oh, fuck me. Heal up. I guess I have to continue to stab it. Okay, we're fine now. Like, the correct way to deal with that guy would have been to blink out of range, and then follow that up with... I'm realizing more and more that the central square of a mephitic cloud seems to be no more likely to be mephitic than the peripheral squares, and I'm wondering if that's a change from previous versions, because I know that I used to get away with self-mephiticking way more often than I do now, and I'm wondering, you know, maybe they changed the formula or something. But it's not uncommon, I'm noticing, for me to get mephitic, my opponent to not be mephitic. Stop approaching me right there. Okay, well, if you want to approach me and stand in a fire to do it, I will not stand in your way. Seriously? Immune to poison, negative, very resistant to fire? When did that happen? I don't remember making such a character, but that explains why he's standing in a fire and ignoring it. We're going to cure out. We're going to fail to cure out. Okay. We're going to self-telly. That's fine. No, nothing appeared to happen. Okay, so we failed to self-telly. We're going to have to burn a blink scroll to get out of this successfully, which we'll do. Can I take this guy on or can't I? Even if I can, I don't need to, so I shouldn't. Let's just get out of here. Just walk upstairs. Don't get shot. Survive. Okay, great. Stabilize. 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 Wait until Vehumete decides to give me something a bit more useful than my current offerings. I mean, at this point, I no longer can cure, so every damage I take is permanent. Or not every damage. I can't cure out of damage. I do have multiple blink scrolls, so I do have emergency buttons, but the problem with emergency buttons is they're for emergencies. You can't just use them for your standard approach to an encounter. Yeah, I do have a haste potion too, so I have a couple options depending on how late it takes me to notice that things are going badly. I don't remember being resistant to fire in any of my runs tonight. Unless, oh, maybe that was the run where I had a ring of... Fuck you. I don't want to deal with you right now. I want to be sneaking away. The fact that my ghost is patrolling that floor makes the floor much more dangerous. Okay, he's dead. Now I can get back to just not facing my own ghost. This is why I delete my ghosts, by the way. It's the equivalent of restarting or deleting the game and reinstalling it, so it's not like cheating, and they're just abnormally strong enemies for this depth, which, you know, one or two of is part of the game design. You're supposed to be able to deal with Sigmund early on, but several, it just feels like insult to injury, honestly. Okay. I am diving because fail is going to get the better of me sooner or later the longer I stay on that floor. I'll take my chances here. Wands of Fireball and Fire. Options, certainly. I guess I could take a Wand of Frost, you never know, but let's see what else there is to... Oh, fuck. Well, it would have been nice for that to be marked before it became unsafe, but... You know, if I drop a fire here, and then here, jellies are dumb enough to continue to fill the squares, and the gray jelly isn't hard enough hitting to... Okay, I guess the gray jelly does hit hard enough to be a pain. Magical power from killing, okay. It's a good turn of events for me, certainly. Did I get them all? No, they're still burning away. That was fortuitous that I responded to this disaster correctly, because this could have gone much, much worse for me. Now, regrettably, it does seem like Vehumete wants me to go the Freezy Pop route, and I am not necessarily opposed to that. As much as I prefer fire, I will take what I can get right now. We're going to leave Sleeping Dogs Lie. We don't need to kill that, so we won't. Let Sleeping Dogs Lie. Okay, so that's all good. We're going to close this door, and then we're going to decide what Vehumete wants. Freeze, 10% fail, anti-training with fire, but I haven't trained fire yet, so we'll pick it up, and we'll decide what's more valuable. My ice and my fire have equal aptitude, so there's no contest there. The way I see it is freeze does more damage than magic dart at melee range, but I've been stuck in melee range a fair amount, so it might prove useful. We're also going to start trickling into dodging at this point to bolster my overall survivability for the inevitable melee conflicts I get into. See, but this is my approach right now, where freeze would not be useful, because I'm pretty, you know, I want to confirm I'm right about this, but the range on freeze is Z exclamation mark, Z exclamation, Z star exclamation mark. Yeah, it's melee range. It's one hit point range. I may have been premature when I accepted that particular spell, because even if it's a good spell, it's not a spell I'm ever going to use personally, and I already know that. Identify something. I guess... Is there any point in identifying the telewand? Yes, there is, because now I can recharge it. And it will be valuable. We will recharge it again so that I don't have to think about it. And we will quaff a random pot. Lignification. I am now a tree. I'm a hungry tree that eats meat. And there we go. Okay, we're back. Looks like some orcs killed themselves here. Better outcome than even I dared to hope for. And you see the dodging skill flies up a little now because we're so far past the point where we would have trained it. Better than trickling into it all this time. Torment is painful, but I have a plan. Nope. She's not dumb enough to walk into a zone that can straight up kill her, so we're gonna have to be even cleverer about my plans. This is the time to bust out the wands. As soon as she shows her... She's slow moving. She's not going to show her face. And this guy is immune to cold, right? Very resistant to cold, so freeze isn't going to hurt him. So I have to burn a lightning charge for nothing. Which it missed, because it's lightning. So we're going to use a fire charge, which will hit. And then hope we don't die while I turn the corner. Kill... You know what? This is the right time to freeze. The highest DPS attack I can... No, you know what? I'm pretty sure it's a pure ice spell, right? Yeah, so with no training behind it, it's not even that great an attack. I need to not be in line of sight of Menkare at all costs. I cannot be... Get away from me, you stupid dog. You are going to get me killed. And here's just hoping that Menkare doesn't find me before I get to heal. Fuck, you found me. Okay, well, I don't have a choice now. I've got to go full out for broke right now. Fire will deal the most damage. Fire worked. Been holding my breath this whole time, man. It's kind of crazy. Stab, 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 stab. You're dead. Heal up. Heal up. Pole arms are -3, so there's no point even putting a little bit of training into it. Why don't you guys come after me? Oh, wait, what's that? You're not going to chase me? That's fine. I'll poke you to death. It is astounding how long you can go without upgrading from the basic book with this build. Okay, good. Okay, literally all of those texts were like, you barely miss, you kind of miss, you miss, you miss, and that was very painful. Okay, any armors I missed? No. This has been an unfortunate run for armoring. I didn't have to kill Menkare, but she kind of forced my hand. In retrospect, I should have picked a spot that was right around a corner for my long rest, so that if she turned the corner, I could immediately duck and run again. Menkare has a high intelligence stat. Intelligence is used to determine how hard a monster will pursue you and how easily they'll forget about you. Brilliance and magic. Okay, so still nothing that will cure out of my numerous mutations. Still, we made it to the Ecumenical Temple, so that alone means that the build is at least theoretically early game viable. Okay, we got them both. This is a huge catch if we can just capitalize with a little bit of poison, a little bit of not getting centaured to death. Severely wounded centaur who is poisoned. Okay, that's everybody. Where the fuck did you come out of? I was just trying to loot the bodies. Honestly, just meat. That's all I'm looting for right now. You're poked to death. Fog, noise, immolation, random and useless, and I'm tempted to actually forget freeze. You know what? I will. It's damage is based on an alternate spell school that I'm not training, it's just not worth it. Sandblast is equally bad. It'd be different if I was like, no, I want to be an ice mage, therefore any excuse to train ice early is good. But I have no way of knowing that I'll ever be able to curve out as an ice mage. I mean, presumably I will eventually, but... Are you confused or just unaware of me? No, just unaware of me. So this is still a very live combat zone. I'm going to confuse again and then bail. See? Now you're isolated. That's what I needed. Stack poison on anything that I can reach. Literally with my reach weapon. And here we're just going to finish you the slow way. Oh, come at me, bro. Excellent. We're going to train inter-strength. We'll take strength. I feel bad about it because technically speaking, if I die, I'm probably going to end up dying before I get to where I need to go. But no, I'm playing this like as if I'm going to live. I'm playing this as if things will go well. And if things go well, then I'll be much happier that I took... I'll be much happier that I took the ability to long-term do better. Oh, there we go. Cure mutation hits. I no longer suffer from berserkeritis, which is honestly often a death sentence for a mage. Searing Ray. I've heard good things about that spell. I think it's the one where if you stay perfectly still, it can ramp up to hefty damage. Certainly for a level 2 spell, hefty damage, but I also am quite aware that not knowing how the spell works makes me less and less likely to use it in a survival situation. Let's see, what schools is it? It's a pure conjuration spell. That's tempting. I'm already max power. Blah, 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 blah. Maintains focus, blah, supplies it with magical power. Not taking any other actions. For certainly able to tear clean through the ranks, plural, of the caster's foes. With Vehumet support and 3 squares of range. So I guess the play here would be drop a Conjuration of Flame in a single tile hallway and then Searing Ray past everything. Maybe. Alright, Vehumet, it's a definite maybe. I'm not convinced yet. I'm willing to be convinced. Anything I need to train here? I need Mephitic to be a bit better. I really want to train fighting, and so I will. As soon as dodging hits 6, I'm going to put a point or 2 into fighting just to give myself a better health pool. Like, here's where Searing Ray would be used. In fact, you know what? I lack any other means to deal pure conjuration damage except Magic Dart. And Magic Dart is rapidly reaching the limit of its usefulness. Wow, you all saw that, right? He got a double move. I'm going to stab you with a trident. And then alternate with Magic Dart. What the hell? Oh, he had a Falchion of Protection. And somehow I still got drained. Probably because this is a draining weapon? No, yeah, it's enchanted, so that was probably drain enchanted. We'll remove Curse. There are definitely situations where I'd be happy for plus 5 AC and not care what my trident is. For the time being, though, we're going to sink more and more enchant weapon scrolls into this trident, as it currently represents the best chance I have of making it through the lair. How am I doing for spell levels? 7, plenty to burn. Let's go ahead and give the Searing Ray a shot, shall we? We're also going to turn on spellcasting just to offset the whole, oh, what if I can't train what I want with Vehumet issue even further. And once I find my next amnesia scroll, this whole problem will disappear. Okay, so here we go. Prime example of something I wouldn't want to Magic Dart to death. Searing Ray activate. Stay put. Activate. Okay. Color me impressed. That was a lot of damage by comparison. It's like a poor man's Isekundurun's Mystic Blast. And interestingly enough, the imp didn't seem to realize that that's what was hitting him. I don't know if that's just a case of imps being pretty stupid or not, but I will remember that. In this situation, you need Magic Dart because you can't afford... You need to know your enemy's position is going to stay relatively stable. Like here. Where I can be fairly sure he's not... Yeah, he's going to melee me. It's an interesting spell. Oh, Roar of Battle. I'm pretty sure that's the Orcish Aura Flame, and that one doesn't expire over time. So I'm not going to actually magic map, even if I could. Oh, there it is. Son of a bitch. I'd rather have him confused than be poisoned but bit, because I still have no means of curing at my disposal. Fire. Searing Ray. Okay, we're just going to confuse them because, come on, that's obviously just going to work better here. But we will activate the Ray while waiting. It's a little mana hungry in that you really do need to hit them 2 or 3 times to get the full effect. But if you're able to, I mean, the full effect is pretty beautiful. Stack poison on this guy. Did he have a wand? He did. Multiple new kinds of potions. Well, it can't be mutation. It can only be like degeneration or something else nasty, so let's try it. Degeneration, sure, and poison. There we go. Now that I've gotten all that shit out of the way. Snaky poo, I don't remember you. Resists fire, steam, and cold, immune to poison and negative energy. Is it very deadly? Is it deadly? Extremely dangerous. And I don't have any reliable means of fighting it right now. We're going to immediately teleport. How do I do that? Wand of Teleself before the constriction kicks in. Excellent. Where did I leave it behind? Just 3 squares to the north. Lovely. Okay, see, without Searing Ray, that combat would almost certainly have gone worse. Yes, sir. I think I'm a convert to Searing Ray. It's very good. It needs to be used in conjunction with Conjure Flame, I think. You need a way to stall your enemies so that they stay in line. But once you have that method up... Whew, can I? Only if I can confuse him. Okay, well, if you're gonna firewalk, I will firewalk you. And then I'll lightning zap you. Okay, there's no lightning left. I will fire you. Okay, I can't fire you. Try to fire you again. And again. Again. There's a reason I went so full out for broke, and that is that Gastronaut can make fights turn against you literally the moment he decides to cast the appropriate spell. Spirit Shield. I don't know what I think of that. I think I'm going to end up drained of mana in the situation I need it most if I keep Spirit Shield on. Okay, we finally have a direction in this game. We picked up Throw Icicle, which means we now have to go the ice route for conjurations. So that's fine. We'll commit to that. We'll commit to that happily. Because it means we have a tier 4, tier 2. I would consider Searing Ray a tier 1.5 spell, which would make Throw Icicle a tier 2. And Freezing Cloud would be a tier 3, with, of course, endgame stuff as endgame stuff. I'm going to drop a Confuse Cloud to stumble them, and then just do this. Searing Ray, Searing Ray, Searing Ray, Searing Ray. Bam! Double kill. Finally, a heal potion. Whoa. Holy halberd, what the hell is that? It's vampiric. And I have no ID scrolls. The thing is, those could be sky weapons and with really great poly-resists on it or something. You know, I'm gonna try Searing Ray, Searing Ray, Searing Ray, Searing Ray. Because he is ensconced in fire, and yeah, there we go, got him. Snaky Poo's down. That could have gone worse. He could have Mephitic Clouded me, but nothing. No, actually, I should have been way more respectful of that possibility. That was a big mistake, and I'm surprised. I'm not surprised, but I'm grateful and lucky that I made it out. Dagger of Speed, I would be happy to steal that from you. Searing Ray, Searing Ray, Searing Ray, Searing Ray. We're gonna use Icicles against you. I should have that on F. Okay, good, it's on F. I'm actually gonna pass on the Dagger of Speed. I'm clearly not going the Stabber route, and without sufficient dagger training at least, I'm not going to get stab bonuses that are worth the damage of a dagger. The damage boost you get by using a dagger. We're going to go pick up that stack of poison needles. I can envision at least one scenario in which it could be useful. Icicle, and then continue your trip. Icicles until it dies. Okay, it's not going to die easy. Smack it with the trident a few times. It's still not dying. Searing Ray, Searing Ray, Searing Ray, Searing Ray. Okay, we killed it. Go back, grab the needles, go back down. So I'm now capable of a lot of damage. This is actually working out pretty well. Ooh, fail. What is your deal? Immune to poison and negative energy. Blink, Mephitic, Magic Dart, Conjure Flame, Resist Elect. Okay. You don't have tier 2 spells. I do. You don't massively resist cold, do you? Do you resist cold at all? No, it resists fire, not cold. So this could work out for me? Yeah, that worked pretty well. Icicles until dead. There definitely is something I need to ID, I just don't know what. Okay, there was nothing I needed to ID, that's unfortunate. I guess I could ID the wand of fire to recharge. Yeah, let's do that. The halberd I can always discover later. We're gonna ditch lightning. And now it's important that I recharge fire because I'm going ice. We're also gonna put on the normal hat. I don't much fancy losing mana. Okay. Floor is cleared. Next floor, please. Also, has Vehement offered me anything? Not for a while. And how is my spell leveling? Oh, right. Spell casting is still on, so it's up a lot now. Conjurations of ice are being mastered. We're gonna trickle conjurations at this point, because because it's already got its heavyweight. The heavy lifting is already done for that. Come at me, bros. It looks like a 2-tile wide hallway, so one of these, and then yoink, 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 yoink. Kill all the gnolls and keep going. 2, 1, and then Searing Ray, Searing Ray, Searing Ray, Searing Ray. Okay, Icicle, finish the job. Don't need any of that. I have way more food than I'll ever need. Okay, maybe not in my pocket, but you know, I don't anticipate food being a problem anytime soon. Yeah, Searing Ray is amazing. I apologize to anybody who I implied it wasn't too. It's not great in isolation, but taken in conjunction with any means of positioning your enemy, it becomes great. Eye of Draining could just end me. Let's pull an orc out just so I get something, but let's not fight multiple enemies around an Eye of Draining. We will head in the direction of those enemies. Wow, there's a lot of doors here. I'm going to leave as many open as I can for easier retreating. Searing, 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 searing. You're worth confusing, I think. He failed to be confused, but if I ray him here, he has the choice between walking into... You know, it's interesting. Enemies don't realize or don't care that you are persistently raying them. They will stay in your line of fire instead of trying to avoid your line of fire. Like, watch. He could very easily take a single step diagonally without losing any time in reaching me, but he doesn't. That's very useful information. It means I need even less setup than I thought I did to make that spell work. I don't like that Eye of Draining. But right now may be the best chance I get to ray it. Beautiful. That's a Mephitic Cloud waiting to happen. Oh, it's a shame I don't have anything else. Oh, I guess I can throw rays in there. Searing Ray, Searing Ray, Searing Ray, Searing Ray. Got at least one big kill out of that. Again, we're going to do this, and then we're going to focus on the Imp to take him out of the picture. The only one I can't Mephitic, and then we'll just get out. Apparently there was a Resurrection Imp in there as well, because these are definitely newly resurrected orcs. That's fine, I'll just get bonus experience for killing the zombies. In the meantime, let's pull out. We got rid of the bulk of them, that's what counts. There's the Shadow Imp. He's worth an Icicle, I think. We want to make sure he's just out of the picture. I don't know my Shadow Imps well enough to know if they do pain or not, and I don't want to find out. Have some pizza! Icicle your ass, times 2. Get out of here. That's a Deep Elf Mage. That's a long distance that I have to cross. Duvessa is definitely going to follow me, and she's a meleeer if I recall correctly, so this is a very good scenario for me. Get a Confuse off if possible, and then Icicles to finish the job. Doan is not going to be happy that I tapped his sister out of the game, but if he's well and confused, I don't care how happy he is, he's dead. This guy's going to be immune to Mephitic and capable of casting it. And I do not have the means to heal out should he do so, and I'm low on mana, so these are all great reasons to bail. Pull the Imp, please. And try a completely different door. Yeah, we're just icicling at Liberty here. Okay, Deep Elf Mage is down. We're going to attempt to take the snake out, actually, if possible. Okay, we got the snake, but we are also very sick. That might cost me my last healed wounds potion, depending on how sick we are. Nope, we made it. It's kind of why I took the snake on where I did. The isolation meant that I could afford to really recover from him. Okay, this looks like a trap. Magic darts. Flame. You know what? Screw it. If it's a trap, I'll call the trap. There we go. Okay, we'll just leave that be. Multiple books of minor magic. An unknown hat, which is worth checking out. Nothing else of note. It's very much a wizard's dealie. I'll take that. That's an improvement over my other hat. We have multiple books of minor magic, which means I can unmemorize any of the basic spells, but like I'm going to drop Dart, Blink, Mephitic, or any of these, actually. Cancel Conjuration, touch T-Lock, and we're also going to touch up fighting a bit further. Just pad out that health a bit more. Get it up to 60 or something. If I can conveniently. try this ring out. It's the worst it could be. Flight. It's also, what, the second ring I found all game? God damn. I've had a really lousy run of luck. The fact that I made it work is not... Well, I've gotten lucky the 1 or 2 times it really counted, I guess. Is he confused? He's not confused, is he? No, he is not, and he looks dangerous. We're gonna... Oh, shit. Okay, we're gonna have to Searing Ray, Searing Ray, Searing Ray, Searing Ray here to take those guys out. Mephitic our target, and then icicle him to death. And when that fails, we're gonna have to run. This is a reasonable position to have backed myself into, actually. I know it looks bad, but the ogre's the one in trouble, not me. And I managed to not engage without a reasonable stock of mana, which was key. Hey, Black Bear, come here. Searing Ray, Searing Ray, Searing Ray, Searing Ray. Boom, dead. Black Bear, come here. Searing Ray, Searing Ray, Searing Ray, Searing Ray. Dead. I wonder if I'm getting +1 range due to Vehumet. It kind of feels like I am, because I seem to recall it being a 3-tile spell, and it's totally going to 4-tile. But if this is due to, like, increasing spell power, I'm even more sold than I was before on this spell. You know, it would be even better on a less flimsy caster than me. I just happen to be playing the Deep Elf, who is always going to be at least somewhat flimsy. But if you were a caster that could reliably go to melee with people for 2 or 3 turns while you did your magic, it'd be fantastic. We have even more enchant weapon to use here, so let's use it, and then let's use it. Wow. Either they changed the formula, or I've been very lucky to have all of my enchant weapons hit successfully. The best thing is it has Pierce, so it hits multiple targets. You know, it's actually interesting. The ramp-up effect should be negative, right? But kind of the way that I like Mephitic Cloud, because you cast it once, and then it repeatedly attempts to inflict that status effect on people. You can think of this as being the same thing. Rather than thinking of it as you have to stay until and channel it, you can say it lets you cast 3 spells for the price of 1, and it guarantees successful cast after the first one is cast, and they become more powerful with each successive shot. Yeah, saying it that way sounds a lot like a better sale. And I have to look at up the numbers, but it feels like it's at least as powerful as a magic dart on the first cast. So it does a good job saving you mana long term. There's no way I could have magic darted down a double-headed ogre that easily. And certainly not with 1 cast. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 magic darts to kill an ice bear. Oh shit, don't forget who you're up against. This is a very different enemy. He's not capable of dealing with fire, though, if I recall correctly, so this could hold him at bay just long enough for that to be a thing. Okay, this is going to be bad. Let's icicle him to death so that if I get confused, he's not there. I have to remember that icicle is ultimately what I'm training, nothing else, not everything else. T-lock of 3 is probably adequate at this point. Yeah, 2% fail is fine. Fighting of 3 is definitely going to have to be adequate. I'm not going higher than that. Dodging and trickle conj, I guess? Good. Alright, floor 10. Hopefully the lair this time. What are you? Power Wraith. Well, if you're going to stand in a fire, don't let me stand in your way. Well, sorry, let me stand in your way. Shut up. Ray. And I'm not sure why I have a... Oh, that's the artifact that I picked up and never ID'd. That's the Ambrosia. Potion of Ambrosia is weird. You pick up ambrosia. You used to pick up ambrosia. I don't know if you still do. Actual ambrosia. Once you clear out a branch, I want to say the spider branch, and that's sufficiently late in the game that the only reason I would keep it is backups in case I ran out of mana replenishing tools. Shit, that was dumb. Back off. I'm not gonna ramp up here, actually. Do that instead, and then ramp up. Okay, and then icicle that one to death, because I don't want to deal with him. I need to start using the icicle more liberally. It should become my primary method of attack, pretty much. Certainly against something like this gargoyle, where every hit counts. Or that eye, where you're going to lose it all, so might as well use it all. Okay, perfect. 1, 2. Icicle, icicle. Drop a fire. Sentinel's mark. Let's quickly hide in a defensible position or a retreatable position. Wow, Unseen Horrors hurt way more than I remember them hurting. Either that or I'm just not used to being afraid of that character model. Ice magic. Wow, that's a Centaur warrior. It's pretty shallow to see something that powerful. Well, actually, we're on floor 10. Just feels shallow because I've been coasting so well. Right, like I wouldn't have expected these guys at this depth either, but I guess I should have. Ray, 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 and in the context of a firewalk, this is gonna hurt. Oh, wow. Wounds, I think, and then blink scroll? Do I need to blink scroll, or do I dare attempt to walk? That's an acid spitter. It could kill me in one attack, so let's not take any chances. Haste, I guess? Yes, haste and then bail. Fucked around with these guys. I didn't have to fuck around with them. I could have just confused them and bailed way sooner. And I paid for it. I lost my heal boons and I lost my precious equipment. Oh, right. Corrosion is temporary. Okay, so I didn't lose it permanently. That's a nice consolation. Inhibits teleportation, therefore I don't give a shit. I will carry it with me because of the resistance on it. It potentially lets me resist necrotic, which might be useful for miasma clouds or something. But watch that the time will come pretty soon where I just don't even bother carrying it. I don't want airstrike. It would require me to transition over to learning air to be of any use because it doesn't benefit from my massive conjuration talent. Oh man, how do I constantly end up just turning a corner and being at melee with my worst nightmare? What? They're appearing behind me. That's kind of frustrating. I'm backing into a corner here, which is bad. I don't have the tools to get out of it, which is worse. Best I can do is... Oh, if I Searing Ray right down the line, I can potentially have them all killed. Nope, that's not working either. Okay. I think I can buy myself just enough time to run out. I should really haste here. I can't afford for those bumblebees to catch me. If I do, I'll end up losing a teleport charge, and I do not want to lose a teleport charge. I don't know how I ended up that badly surrounded. I think I must have been tunnel visioning harder than I realized. We can probably ditch Conjuration right now. I mean, until I get the next tier of spell, I'm probably maxed out on spell power as is. In fact, that's worth checking. Am I maxed out? No, Icicle gets bigger. Conjure Flame gets bigger. So it's worth continuing to trickle at least into these powers. But I want my defense skills up, and that means fighting and dodging right now. Might be worth throwing a few points into Evo, but I literally am not even holding an invocable right now. What did I get hit by? Stone arrow. Okay. Well, it didn't kill me. But it sure as shit didn't make me stronger. Trident is up to +6. This thing's actually a beast. It's a shame it's a trident. I mean, it's not. Obviously, I like tridents, but if I had even if I had 0 skill in tridents, I would throw a few points at it right now just for the sake of expediency and increasing my overall damage output. Okay, this is exactly where things went wrong last time, so no fucking around. Drop a Confuse, bail, and then immediately start pelting these guys with freaking ice shards. Okay, there we go. Keep you under confusion at all times. And then since I'm weak, we're just going to run away. Fire. Why are you standing in a fire? That's just not... Oh, damn. It's 40 damage in one hit. That's an exceptionally high amount of damage, actually. Like, I'm kind of annoyed that it deals that much damage. It's 47 damage in one hit. Fucking A. Well, a very promising run, unfortunately, was ended prematurely there, because I underestimated the amount of damage that I was going to take in one bite. With him standing in the fire, he was more likely to die than not, especially since he was cold, so theoretically I was burning him for more damage, I guess? Unless they don't acquire the vulnerabilities and they only acquire the weapon types now. I don't know. I'd have to look up the enemy to figure it out, and it's 3 in the morning, so I'm tired. Anyway. That's GG, gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you all, and I will see you guys some other time.